Mike.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tiltingground Untitled Notre Dame USC football podcast. I'm Michael Mito. I'm here with Greg Flamong. Hi, Greg.
Hey, buddy.
Well, first, I just want to thank everyone who listened to the war of attrition that was the season preview. And the fans are still out there. I think people listened to most of it. It was a long one, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, my dad, he was like, hey, it was a little long, Greg.
What are you
I was
supposed
like,
to
well,
do?
I mean, we've been gone for a long time. We got a lot to discuss.
Yeah, it's two teams, each unit. Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
So this will be a little shorter for everybody. Don't you worry. We understand time constraints.
that's right.
Some news and notes for housekeeping purposes. Greg now has a weekly column at uhnd.com.
I do. We're rolling it out. The big debut was today. I'm very excited about it. So basically, it's like a trends, like a market trends kind of thing with Notre Dame, like what's trending up, what's trending down, what to look for, kind of heading into each week. So, like this week, I talked about the slot position with C.J. Sanders, who kind of like people didn't really expect much from him, just because he was injured. He's a special teams guy last year, but he was injured. He had hip surgery in the off season, but he had a great fall camp. So he's trending up. Who else did I say? Jay Hayes, the defensive end, is trending up. Corey Holmes is trending down, and Andrew Trumbetti is trending down. So just if you want, every Tuesday it's coming out. Just what I think is looking good and what I think is not looking so good. So.
And we'll share the links on the Twitter and the Facebook page.
That's right.
Don't you worry.
Yep, and
we'll
on my
make sure
Twitter.
that people find you.
My Twitter as well.
All right, let's start. We started Notre Dame last time. Let's start USC this time. They are playing the number one ranked team in the country, Alabama.
You know what's funny? I totally forgot the Lane Kiffin angle to this.
Well, there's so many angles.
I know, but like I was like, oh my gosh, like Lane Kiffin is their core. Like he's gonna try to score like 98 points.
He is gonna try to score like 98 points. Like he'll want Clay Helton fired in the Alabama airport.
Yeah, like I was gonna watch this game anyway, but now I'm like super intrigued, like super.
I'm glad that's what you're intrigued for. You also were sending me pictures of Alabama freshman running backs this week.
So he was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore this year, so that is like a little bit. But Bo Scarborough, I mean, he doesn't miss many. He doesn't miss many days in the weight room.
No, not at all. We should link to the picture. It was very impressive.
I don't know how a human being even gets to look like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was very like inside linebacker-esque looking, or like defensive line, like skinny defensive lineman.
Like skinny defensive line,
buff defensive line guy.
Yeah. Monster who runs like 4.5.
Yeah. I'm trying to talk myself into this somehow, some way, but the problem. Let's start with the first problem: is USC's missing an offensive lineman, one of their starting tackle.
Not just an offense, like maybe one of their best. Like I mean, one of the I don't know if he's the best. Zach Banner is pretty good, but
he's the right tackle, and the big deal is always the left tackle because most quarterbacks are right-handed.
You're right.
So he's out with plantar fasciitis.
Chad Wheeler, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not good. So they got a first time starter.
Not good.
But that's okay because Alabama's lost some guys on the D line. They had the 2 first-round picks or early round picks last year. We did a mock draft. I don't quite remember where everybody went, but
they're no longer on their team.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of helpful, but I can't imagine a Nick Saban defense not just abusing some first-time starter at left tackle.
I think that people don't like I follow recruiting pretty closely, but I follow like Notre Dame recruiting pretty closely. Like if you look at the guys that Alabama brings in, like you see why like year in and year out they're a top 10 team because they just bring in these horses.
The worst starter they have on offense is a 3-star recruit at center, and I think the worst starter they have on defense is a 3-star recruit at safety.
Right,
That's
and
it.
the thing you have to remember too is like, yeah, like he's a 3-star, but like he beat out a bunch of 5-stars probably.
Yeah,
So
that means
like,
he's actually a good football player.
yeah, so it's not like when Notre Dame starts a 3-star player, it's a little bit different. Um, like that was who they got. Like they're counting on him. Like they're counting on guys being diamond in the rough. Like if Alabama happens to find a diamond in the rough, that's great.
Yeah, they have 5-star recruits on the bench.
Yeah, no big deal.
No, not at all. I think all their running backs are 5-star recruits.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a fun one.
yeah. They can't recruit quarterback though.
Oh, that is the one
It's
hope
a real problem. It
is
doesn't
that
stop them from winning national titles, but they can't do it.
so they have 2 guys who I mean are whatever. Let's see if I can get their names. Um, let's see here. Always come prepared.
You can edit this.
There we go. It's Blake Barnett is one of the starters. He's the guy from California.
Former Notre Dame commit.
Former Notre Dame commit. And then the other guy is... Let's see. Why don't I have it here?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is bad prep. Sorry,
Do your
everybody.
homework, man.
I know. This is embarrassing. Ugh. All right. Hold on. Now we're really going to edit it.
Yeah, we're definitely editing this up.
Let's see here. Here we go. I thought it was in my notes, but it was not. Okay. And the other quarterback is Cooper Bateman.
Cooper Bateman. That is the most Alabama name maybe of all time.
Right. So they have 2 quarterbacks, which is something that you'll hear a lot today on this podcast because all 4 teams we're going to talk about have 2 quarterbacks. But then they have a freshman quarterback who may play, may not. Jalen Hurts. So that's still up in the air, and he's supposed to be the real deal as a quarterback, but he's just a freshman, so it wouldn't really matter if he played. Famous last words.
Yeah.
So Bateman and oh man, I can't remember their names. Bateman and Barnett.
Bateman and Barnett.
Those are the 2 guys you're gonna see.
B squared.
So that's good. The receivers at Alabama aren't. They're good. I mean, they're to Alabama. All the players are good.
No, Calvin Ridley's a star.
But relative to like Juju Smith-Schuster, I feel like.
No, I feel like they're on the same level.
Wow, high praise.
I mean, I think Juju Schuster is like if you had to give me one, I would take him. But Calvin Ridley is legit.
Okay.
He's like a Mari Cooper redux, basically.
So I wonder who will guard him. We assume it'll be Adoree Jackson.
We assume.
And he's an All-American, so
I mean, I think
crossed.
our feelings about him as a defender are well documented.
Maybe playing more man-to-man, and now that he doesn't have to worry about doing the long jump in the Olympics, he'll just be ready to go and lock down a number 1 wide receiver.
Here's the problem, Michael. We've all seen Adoree Jackson in man coverage against an elite receiver recently.
That was last year. That's last year, man.
By the name of Will Fuller, and that went poorly for all people concerned.
It did, but new season, new defensive coordinator.
It's true. It's true.
Anything's possible.
Just for stats, Calvin Ridley caught 89 passes for 1,045 yards and 7 scores last year.
That's really good.
As a true freshman.
All right, that's really good.
No, yeah, he's good. He's really good.
I mean, they did win the national title last year.
They did.
Alabama.
Yeah. and in fairness, like that was in 15 games. So like, but from a like game by game, we're talking like 6 catches for 70 yards. So it's not like, that's not super amazing. Like I don't have Smith-Schuster's numbers in front of me. I'll look for them, but I can guarantee you that they're far more impressive.
Yes, and he was hurt, by the way.
Well, yeah, just on a game-to-game basis. So, but then you have to, you factor in the fact that like Juju Smith. Well, let's compare. How about that?
Okay. So let's go to the starting quarterback. I feel like that's kind of a push because neither team we really know anything about who's going to be playing quarterback. So that's good.
So they both finished with 89 catches last year. Juju Smith had 1,400 yards and 10 scores. As a true freshman, Juju Smith was 54 for 724 and 5. So
similar.
Yeah, so according to that trajectory, like Calvin Ridley could be a 90-catch, 1,400-yard receiver this year. He's good.
He's good. All right.
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed. He's good. All right. But let's hope that. So the hope here though is even if he is good, the defensive backs at USC are supposed to be good, for all intents and purposes so far, even though they've never played anyone. On paper, they're supposed to be good. The linebackers are supposed to be okay. So I think that's good against a passing offense. The concern is when they run the ball and the untested, thin, not that great defensive line just gets run over. And they have to start bringing guys in the box, and then they can pass all day long. That's the real problem.
Yeah.
And Alabama's not like Baylor where they just wing the ball around. I mean, they're going to run. Like, everyone knows it.
Yeah, they're very, like, pro-style, I-formation, single back, like power, ISO, all that stuff.
So I guess the hope is that USC keeps it close, and because Alabama's not really running the score up, hopefully, and USC can keep it close, and then maybe the offense just gets something going. With maybe Max Brown is this great quarterback. Right.
So obviously they're hoping. You're always hoping for turnovers for one. Like if Bama can, if they give you the ball a few times, like that's always helpful. Like Bama will probably move the ball. You want to stay away from big plays, obviously.
Always.
And then it's like, can they hold them to field goals if they get in the red zone? So you hope for that, and then you have to hope that somehow USC can control the line of scrimmage.
And that's the real hope.
Yeah, I mean, because then it's like you get in short yardage situations, and then it's like you can do a lot of quick stuff. You can kind of manufacture first downs with like bootlegs. Like I feel like USC's always got a bunch of like 3rd and 3 plays. It's like, we can sneak a back out of the backfield somewhere. We get a tight end somewhere. It's like they always have like Notre Dame. I feel like they do not have that. Like 3rd and 3 for Notre Dame is like I don't like it. I'd rather it was like 3rd and 8.
So they do run a smart play, not some weird.
Yeah, like they're better at that. Like the 3rd and 3 is like I don't know. I just feel like they're not as good. So.
But now they don't have game manager Cody Kessler. Who knows?
They don't. So it's just like, and the thing about Bama is like if you have to get into like a throwing contest with them, it's like Nick Saban is like an old like DB coach. Like that's what he does best. So like their defensive backfield is always great.
Yeah, that seems like bad news. If it's a throwing competition.
Yeah, like these guys at Bama, like they're not going to be. Like they're not intimidated by Juju Smith. Like I'm not saying they'll shut him down because he's a great player, But I don't think he's going to take over a game either, like he could against, any other team. Like any other team on the schedule. So, I mean, it definitely needs to go a certain kind of way, especially with the fact that like SC's kind of banged up too. Like losing a guy, like if Mike McGlinchey wasn't playing for Notre Dame, like I'd be pretty concerned.
Right, yeah, that's bad news. But I mean, SC has Justin Davis, who's a talented, trusted running back. and he's played some games, so hopefully he can move the ball around. And Ronald Jones, the second, maybe he can bust a big one.
Absolutely.
That's
quality players.
Oh, he cut his hair, by the way. That was an error on our part. In the last podcast, we mentioned his dreadlocks, which are gone now.
He cut his hair?
So I hope that doesn't make him slower.
I read where was it? This is totally off topic, like it's not USC, but it is a player with dreadlocks. They were really big dreadlocks, and the guy cut them, and he said he lost 4 pounds.
Wow.
Just because of the hair. Like
That's
I don't
crazy.
think Ronald Jones' hair is that long.
No, his were short.
But you know, maybe it's just like a 1 pound situation.
Maybe he'll be faster.
Yeah. It's like it won't slow him down. Maybe he'll be like quicker, fleet of foot.
I like it. He'll get around those Alabama linebackers.
Yeah.
So I think I've talked myself into a close game. Now, a problem with a close game is USC's special teams are all brand new. So if it comes down to a field goal, not good. If it comes down to punting, not good. I still don't think they have a punter, which is fun. The kicker, though, is at least he kicked last year, you know?
Yeah.
It's Bormeister, Matt Bormeister, the UCLA connection. He played last year. I mean, this is a big game. It's in Dallas. Another good thing is it's not in Alabama. So,
well, here's the like Alabama.
It is the South, but
Alabama plays at Texas Stadium like kind of a lot. Like I think they played there the last few years, so it's like it's kind of home away from home for them.
But it's not official home.
It's not. It is not Tuscaloosa.
So maybe there'll be a little more Cardinal and gold in the stands. That's another bonus.
Yeah.
Some fun facts for USC. They have one of their most famous wins of all time, and a win that changed college football as we know it when an integrated USC team played Alabama and won in 1970. That was Sam Cunningham, All-American fullback. So there's just some history. Maybe they tap into that. USC hasn't beat a number 1 ranked team in a while, so that's not good.
They're due.
That's true. They are due. If you go by that theory, they're due.
They are
beat
due.
Alabama in a while, also. So that's not good. They haven't played them in a while either, but still. I don't. It's just gonna be. I'm talking myself into close, and if it's close, anything could happen. Let's see. Well, let's pick the game first. So our friends in Las Vegas have this at. I was moving around. Where'd it go? I hate that the betting lines call them Southern Cal. And I guess that's to differentiate from South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
But still, 11.5. Alabama is an 11.5 point favorite. I'm going to grab the points.
You're going to grab the points?
It's opening weekend. Games are usually closed. Crazy things happen. I'm grabbing the points.
Okay. I'm going to give the points, unfortunately. Whoa. I talked myself out of a good game.
You're back at Lane Kiffin.
Well, the Chad Wheeler thing really kind of did it for me. For a couple reasons. One, it's like when you go into a game like this, you really need like all hands on deck kind of situation.
Right.
And it's kind of like it's like when Notre Dame was playing Ohio State in the bowl game last year. Like right, but like the day before the game or like before the leading up to it. Like
all the guys got in trouble.
Players were getting suspended. And it's like, dude, you can't beat this team when you're depleted. Like it takes the wind out. It's like it's a tough game anyway, and now all of our good players are getting suspended.
Well, speaking of players not being there, we might as well mention that backup inside linebacker Osa Messina has found himself awry of the law. We don't want to speculate on
under suspicion
of some very
Nefarious activities.
Yeah, in 2 different states, 2 different crimes. So
That
see,
yeah.
when Notre Dame got in trouble, it was different 2 crimes, different players one night. USC guy, just 2 different crimes.
Yeah, so multiple arrests in 2 separate incidents,
So
but
we'll
in the
keep.
same state.
And on the season preview, we mentioned how he might become a starter. That may not happen if he goes to jail.
I don't think he would go to jail, but he would. He would probably not be a part of the football program.
Correct. Anyways, your pick, Greg. 11.5 points.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh, that's right.
I'm giving the points.
You hurt my feelings and are giving the points.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I hope I'm wrong, honestly.
Thank you. It'll be a better podcast on Tuesday.
It will be. It will. I mean, I could still be wrong and they could lose, but I mean, I'm not really rooting against USC. Like I've kind of moved on from the whole like any team that I have 2 teams, Notre Dame and anyone who's playing USC. Like it's more of a
it's a case by case scenario.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's like I'm not a Lane Kiffin guy or anything, so
I think I'm a Lane Kiffin apologist, if we're being honest.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
The truth comes out. Let's just skip the Notre Dame portion of this and talk about that.
And just go into Lane. No. I think it's time for the Notre Dame. We'll leave it there. Maybe I'll bits and pieces of.
Well,
Lane Kiffin.
mean, he definitely got like a raw deal for sure.
Did.
Like he came in under sanctions, and then the sanctions came out, and then they just shafted him. I mean, it was pretty dirty.
And I'm sure everyone just rolled their eyes when I said it. He also is a big jerk. Let's not negate that.
No, he's not a good person, but at least, I mean, I can see why it's like he did get shafted.
And I think former Trojan Robert Woods hates him. So.
Oh. Well, he did kind of pick Marquise Lee.
Yeah. Anyways, let's shift gears. Let's go to Sunday's game, everybody.
Oh.
Notre Dame plays on Sunday, which is very fun.
I hate it.
Because it's just weird and it breaks up the pace and.
I hate it. I'm going to tell you right now. So I will be partaking the game in Las Vegas with Tim, my buddy Timmy Norcus, our friend. I shouldn't say my buddy, our friend Tim, and I might be. Well, I don't know what the line is for Nevada next week after this game, but I'm probably taking the points. Notre Dame doesn't like playing road games at night just in general because you fly home, you get home at like 3 a.m, you like lose the entire day the next day. And so then you start up on Monday. And generally speaking, like you do that enough times, it's like you just it's a little bit too much wear and tear on a body. And that's for just a Saturday night home game or a Saturday night road game. Like now we're playing Sunday night, and then they have to play on Saturday at the regular time for the home opener against Nevada. So they're missing a day just by virtue of playing on Sunday, and then they miss another day because they're playing at night.
But they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this.
What do you mean?
Well, for Texas. Yes, you've already jumped into Nevada.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, who are we thinking of in this situation? Like, are we thinking of the players? Because this game got moved, this was 2 months ago. So they were So it's not like it was well thought out by a bunch of people in charge. Like, someone said we can make more money off these kids who are playing for free by playing on Sunday. And it's like,
that is exactly what happened.
Sorry about the short week. Sorry about that, amateur athletes.
Well, I'm sure Notre Dame was about it too. They weren't like.
No, I totally agree. But I mean, it's like, who are we looking out for? That's what I don't like about it.
True.
Anyway, I'm probably digressing. I'm on a tangent.
It's okay. That's what the people come for.
Okay. So yes, they play Sunday night.
In Texas.
In Texas, in Austin.
So let's start quarterback talk. It's football. That's what everyone talks about these days.
All right.
Do we have any more news on the Notre Dame quarterback split?
We have no news.
So it's just both are going to play.
They're both going to play. Do we know
who's starting?
We don't know who's starting.
Oh.
We do know that former NFL scout Daniel Jeremiah thinks that Deshaun Kaiser is going to win the Heisman Trophy.
I saw that.
So, I mean, if he does while splitting time, that would be, I mean, how good would he have to play to
Probably the
win
most
the Heisman?
impressive season in college football history.
Right, to win the Heisman while splitting time. Um, no, I'm fully on board with my concern for it. I
Now,
don't.
do we know who's playing quarterback for Texas?
No, they've got this. They've
They got
got
a
this.
freshman, right?
They got a freshman kid. I don't know how to say his name,
It's a
but
long name.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they have Swoops or
Who
Swopes.
I thought was going to do the graduate and transfer. Just he's much maligned.
Right,
Terrell
absolutely.
Swoops Jr.
Um, the thing is though, like the other guy, like the guy who played a lot, Jerron Johnson, I think it was.
I know who you're talking about. He was the fast freshman
Gardner.
last year.
Was it Gardner? Darn it, now I have to look it up. Now I'm the one who's
It's okay. It's okay.
ruining everything.
There
Either
was
way,
there was a fast freshman quarterback.
he was moved to receiver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like he's not like it's not like he's not an option to do it.
That's why I couldn't find his name anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so it's going to be one of those two guys. I think that the freshman is going to play most of the time.
And he's supposed to be able to wing it, right? This freshman kid.
Yeah, yeah. Gerard
Shane.
Hurd is his name.
Ah,
That's the quarterback. Yeah. So now he's a receiver. Yeah. So they're gonna try to throw the ball all over the place. But they do have a really good running game. They have that Michael Warren kid who's like 6 feet and 250 pounds. And he ran for like 700 yards in a game last year. That's an exaggeration. That would be a record.
but it was a lot.
It was a lot. So yeah, they have a new offensive coordinator, who I mean, whose offense ran like 86 plays a game last year, which was I think leading the NCAA. So that concerns me a little bit, just because Notre Dame doesn't really handle that stuff very well.
And the untested defensive backs.
Yeah, who are now considerably more untested given the depth chart that came out today, which we should probably talk about.
We should.
I have some feelings about them. So I guess on the offensive side, like there's no real surprises for anyone. Like we don't know the quarterback situation, but like everyone who you thought would be starting is starting. The biggest surprise for me is on defense. At free safety, they're going to be starting a sixth-year senior, Avery Sebastian.
What happened to true freshman? Oh no,
Devin Studstill?
Devin Studstill.
I don't know. I guess he hurt his hamstring like a couple weeks ago, and he's back in practice. But my sense is that they don't want to risk it giving him like too many snaps in the first game, because I mean, from personal experience, like if you hurt a hamstring and it's not completely healed, if you hurt it again, like you're looking at like a 2-month injury. So what I think they want to do is they want to try to get through Texas, and they want to try to get through Nevada, give him a couple more weeks to kind of heal up so that he's ready for the like kind of the meat of the season. Like they cannot go all year starting Avery Sebastian at free safety.
That seems like a bad idea.
It's not a good idea. I mean, it's basically like he transferred in last year as like a 5th-year guy, from Cal just to provide depth. But then he got hurt, so he didn't really play last year. Like he played in the opener and broke his foot. And he didn't really play his last season at Cal either because he was hurt. He like tore up his knee or something.
Seems to be a theme.
Right. So he hasn't really played football in 2 years, for one. And for two, he was a strong safety when he was at Cal anyway. So, and when he transferred in, it was like, oh, well, this is a former 4-star player, in high school and whatnot. It's like, yeah, that's great, but that was like 6 years ago now. Like now he's like 24 years old, with like in a grad program. Like I don't know, I don't know what kind of shape he's in. Like, I don't know what kind of range he has. I mean, I've seen him in practice, but it's like this isn't a guy that is starting for a team that wants to be in the playoffs.
Not inspiring a lot of hope.
No, I'm concerned about it. And the thing, and like, okay, so here's the thing about Max Redfield. Max Redfield is not a good football player. Okay, he was not, but he wasn't so bad that he wasn't whenever he did what he was supposed to do as far as like knowing what his assignment was. Like he got into trouble because he would just like not cover people because he didn't know what he was supposed to be doing too many times.
I remember this.
Right, so you don't know if you're supposed to be covering, then obviously you're useless. But when he did, it's like if I'm supposed to cover the post and I do cover the post, like they're not going to throw it because he's good enough to run with the guy to where it's like, okay, like he's not open, we can't. Avery Sebastian hasn't played football, like I said, in 3 years. And he is not like, why should I think that all of a sudden he's going to be comfortable in Texas at night playing for a team that wants to win a national championship?
That's all very fair.
Like, so he's to the point where it's like, if I'm Texas, I'm saying, hey, we're going to run this guy in the post. I don't care if he's covered, just throw it anyway.
Let's see what happens when we test the new guy out.
Right, because he can't be super comfortable with the ball in the air because he hasn't done it in forever.
Right.
So, and then like this is the situation that Notre Dame's put themselves in because the freshman's not ready because Mac Redfield's a knucklehead and they have recruited terribly at the safety position.
Oh, speaking of the defensive backfield, while we're there talking about those guys.
Okay.
I was listening to an old podcast to see if we had improved, and we had.
Oh,
so the echo's back. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I know. How did we fix this last time?
We might have just. Did we start over?
I think you hung up and came back.
I hung up and came back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm doing that now?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Is the echo the echo is gone. Okay.
All right.
That's weird. I wonder what did that. All right. Here we go.
All right. Speaking of defensive backs.
Yes.
Okay.
I already know what I was going to say.
Okay. You say it.
All right. Here we go. 5,
Okay.
4. You mentioned Sean Crawford in the season preview.
Yes, sir.
And in the old podcast that I was listening to, you also mentioned Sean Crawford and said and compared him to Adoree Jackson, just like you did in the season preview. So I want everyone to know that Greg has had these thoughts for a whole year.
It's still true.
One whole year. He's not coming fresh to the Sean Crawford bandwagon. This spring he didn't see him. This has been a year in the making. Sean Crawford love.
If you have read any of my, I think that I've mentioned Sean Crawford in every single article that I've written this summer. I've read like 6 or 7 articles this summer and like are all about how Sean Crawford is going to be like an All-American.
I was so happy when I heard it, and it wasn't even the season preview. It was just like a week 3 podcast from last year.
Yeah.
And you just started talking about how great Sean Crawford is going to be.
He's phenomenal.
I was like, wow, this is really impressive.
I'm on the Sean Crawford bandwagon. Everyone knows it.
All right. So you said there were some problems with the Notre Dame depth chart. Can I guess the next problem?
Sure.
I'm going to guess It's that Andrew Trombetti is named the starter at defensive end.
Well, he's not like it's an or situation. This is another one where like Jay Hayes is like his ankle. And like listening to Brian Kelly today during the press conference, it sounded like he's ready to go. We have to monitor him. Like that's Brian Kelly speak for like he's not 100%.
Okay, so that's the injury thing, not a performance thing.
Yeah, no, it's not because
All right.
yeah, and the thing about Trombetti is like he will be like he's played serious minutes. Now he's not like a great player. He
Yeah.
he scares me against the run, and like that's what Texas wants to do. But like I know he's not like I have 10 times more confidence in Trombetti than I do in Avery Sebastian. Let's put it like that.
All right. Well, so what was your other concern on the depth chart then?
Um,
If I didn't get it right, you said you had a couple.
Just that like four of the five suspended players
Our backups?
are on the two deep.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know if they're suspended or not. Like I shouldn't say suspended because they're. I mean, the way that Brian Kelly talked about it again today, it's like I plan to have them. So he clearly does not expect to lose these players, at least for like not even a game, let alone the season or anything like that. So like that's a little concerning. It's like if for some reason they didn't, it's like now these guys who are backups are not available in the first game. Like that's a little concerning. I think other than that, it wasn't really like.
Okay.
I mean, just like the right guard, it's like McGovern is starting and he's new, but he's a senior. It's not a big.
Right. All right. So how do you think this game's going to go in your mind's eye?
I mean, so I expect it to be close, and I'm reminding myself that it's okay if it's a close game.
Close high score, close low score.
Close like mid. It'll be like 24-20 or something for either team. I'm gonna predict Notre Dame because they're better, but and they should win. I don't think Notre Dame blows them out. I don't think there's any chance that they come out firing on all cylinders in this game. I don't know how they could with a quarterback situation that no one really knows how it's going to work. They'll probably move the ball. I fear that they will have red zone problems again. And I just hope that they don't give up a ton of big plays and they don't turn the ball over. Like I think the way that this game gets way out of hand for them is if they turn the ball over.
Well, yeah, that's bad news for any team.
Right, but it's like they can turn the ball over against some teams, and it's like it's not that big a deal. Like the game can really get, like I don't mean like 4 or 5 times. I mean just like once or twice. Like if they're -2 or something in turnovers.
That's too close for comfort.
Yeah, like and it's like they could. I mean, they could easily lose. I mean, they could find a way to. Like Texas is not bad. Like this, they beat them 38-3 last year. That's obviously not going to happen again because the separation between the two teams is not 35 points. So.
I don't know, man. I don't have any faith in Texas. New quarterback. The old quarterback wasn't that good.
I mean, if I could point to every game where I thought, like, look at Virginia last year.
That was too close for comfort.
I mean, it essentially
Smoke Mazzell got loose.
Yeah, like it's essentially like a miracle, right? Like
it literally was a miracle, yes.
Like it's one of those things. It's like I always say, like now we need something to happen that is kind of extraordinary. We can't win the conventional way. Like now we need something kind of fluky to happen for us, and unfortunately it did. Kaiser came in and hit the bomb to Will Fuller, but it's like, but Virginia was awful. They were awful all season. They were awful before the Notre Dame game. They were awful after the Notre Dame game. But in that game, Notre Dame won by 7 on the last second play. So they don't need to be playing a really good team to kind of blow it.
That's true. But I think, for me, I think the Texas offense isn't going to be a problem for the Notre Dame defense. I don't think they're going to be that sophisticated. I don't think they're going to be firing on all cylinders. And I think Brian Kelly's a good enough coach that the offense will look good, and it won't be a problem.
See, here's my biggest worry here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So let's say they start Kaiser.
Okay.
And he comes out and he doesn't look sharp.
Throw some ground balls, make some
bad
choices.
They run the ball twice for 7 yards. It's 3rd and 3. He throws the ball, and the ball gets batted down or something. So then they got to punt, right? Mm-hmm. And whatever Texas does on offense, I don't know. Then they get the ball again, and they put him out there again. He gets a couple first downs. Then he takes a sack or something. It's 3rd and 11, throws it incomplete. They got to punt again. Okay, now you're bringing in Zaire. Zaire comes down. Maybe he has like a pretty good drive or whatever. They try to kick a field goal and they miss. Or let's say they even make it. It's like, now what? Now what do you do?
I don't know. That's why you don't have 2 quarterbacks.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, that's why I advocate, like, they got to pick one. Because you can't, you don't know. Like, you don't, like, who are you going to go with at this point? Like, are you going to go with Zaire? And then if you go with Zaire and he goes down and scores again, then it's like, okay, how can you go back to Kaiser at this point?
Right.
And if Zaire has a drive that doesn't result in anything, well, then how can you go back to him? So now you've had 4 or 5 drives of non-productivity, but each quarterback has only had 2 or 3.
Right, yeah.
Now what? It's like, so it's so much, like, there's so much going on within the team that has nothing to do with actually, like, winning the game. Because then the team is like, well, like, they're thinking about, like, who's moving the ball better and who's moving not. Like, they're not thinking about actually winning.
Right, your receivers are worried about who's
they're thinking
out there.
about the dynamic that's going on the sideline. And then, they're going to look at Deshaun, and he's going to be pouting. And then he goes in, and then they're going to look at Malik Zaire, and he's going to be kind of pouty. And it's like, oh, this is kind of a situation. So.
All right, so the point spread in Las Vegas is Notre Dame, 3.5-point favorite at Texas. What do you got?
I have to give the points again.
I just want to tell you the over-under for this thing is 60.
It's a 3.5-point spread, but the over-under is 60.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like some 33-27 hocus pocus.
Yeah.
Or even more. I mean, like 33-30 or something. I mean, I have to give the points again.
Oh, I'm taking them. I'm giving the points. Sorry, Notre Dame's going to win.
Yeah, I think they'll win. I think they'll win. Like I said, 24-20, so that's 4.
That's true. That's 3.5.
Yeah.
Your prediction.
Yeah.
Got the spread.
Yep.
All right. Any news and notes kicking around Notre Dame?
No, just trying to find out what's going on with these players. I was hoping we'd find out today with the press conference, but
no, to no luck.
That did not go down. I will say there's something that I'm very excited about.
Tell me.
That they announced today that Mike Tirico is going to call the first 3 games.
Oh, I saw that. That's going to make watching it a lot more enjoyable.
Oh, it's just like, like a lot of people within the Notre Dame community don't like him. I don't know why. I assume like he might have said something about had some opinion about the Tyrone Willingham
on ESPN one time
situation. Yeah, because that's a pretty sensitive topic within the Notre Dame community. But I'm all for it because I've had to deal with Tom Hammond goofball for too long. It's like we actually have a pro. Like this guy was doing like Monday Night Football. Now the guy who's doing Monday Night Football is doing Notre Dame games. Like that is such a step up.
It'll be nice to have to watch these things and have a real announcer.
Yeah, for real.
USC news and notes. I don't think there's anything. We got the arrest and the injuries.
The arrest.
Or not the arrest. Excuse me. The investigation.
College football, man.
Yeah. Was there anything else? I don't think there's anything fun. There's no fun documentaries or movies. There's no Tim Tebow was at USC today, but there's
Trying to play
nothing
baseball.
that's tangentially related to football. So programming note, this is a little later in the week because we wanted to have as much information as we could for you going into the week 1 games. Next week will be the podcast will probably drop on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll be back to our normal Monday schedule after that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you everyone for listening. We forgot to do our Twitter shout outs and stuff. Oh, and another thing, all the fans out there. Something I want to do for this year is a reader question. So our email is tiltingground@gmail.com. If you have a question about Notre Dame, about USC, even anything college football related, we'll take at this point.
Yeah. Anything you want to ask. We're watching all the games.
There are enough listeners out there that I think it'll be fun to have a little question and answer session at the end. So do that, or you can get us on Twitter too. Greg, what's your Twitter?
@Greg2126.
Greg's been on fire lately.
Yeah.
Who'd you go after today? You went after somebody.
Did I?
Or maybe it was yesterday.
I don't know. If it's not, I almost went after Avery Sebastian today. Not him personally. Like it's nothing against him. Just like the fact that, like he hasn't played in forever.
Leave the kids out of this.
This is not good. Well, it's just like it's a little concerning. But yeah, the only person I really go after is Trump. So if you don't mind that.
Oh no.
And it's bipartisan. I have it's not a Republican Democrat thing. It's like I don't like racist people thing. So if you don't mind that, then please
follow Greg.
Follow me on Twitter.
I am Michael Muto on Twitter. I'll, as the season progresses, I'll try to tweet more and more.
Yeah, man, you need to get on that.
I do. I go in spurts. So now that football's back, I'll be tweeting more. We have a Facebook page. Every day I throw an article about USC and an article about Notre Dame up there. When Greg posts articles, I'll put them up there as well. So I believe you search for Tiltingground, ND USC. I think that's how it comes up. You want to follow the podcast, just search for USC or Notre Dame in the iTunes store. We actually are pretty highly ranked when you use those search terms, which is very impressive for some odd reason. I know. Also, there's a link at the bottom of the website, Facebook pages. So go to iTunes, subscribe, and I think that's it. Fight on, Greg.
Go Irish.